Internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow. It's your boy Stutterbox talking to you right now, and I'm just coming back from seeing the good show, or at least a good movie, a good Marvel movie known as Big Hero 6. And Big Hero 6 surprisingly kind of got me in a way in which that you don't normally get that from too many Pixar, or at least like too many movies nowadays, in which that you do see the main character as this prodigy of him. Well, it's simpler just to say that he's Hiro Yamada from Batman, Superman, Public Enemies. He's basically Toy Man. That's his character. He's a super smart kid who honestly has a pretty cool brother and a really cool aunt and a really cool cat. So of course, and of course, him being a prodigy, he is good with all the bots. He's a good hustler. He has a cool older brother. And also, all of his brother friends are quirky in a way in which that they don't necessarily make a lot of sense in terms of how they work well together. But at the same time, they're still nice in their ass. And they all still have something to them that actually kind of pulls you to them and makes you like every single character. Now, you know, even though they are kind of like an animated version of the Scooby-Doo gang, but give or take with all that, they're still all rather cool. Going from Wasabi to Go-Go to David to, I forget the last girl's name, but her with the cool purse. You know, even going from all of them, they're all actually rather cool. And it's not necessarily a bad thing when you do kind of feel, or at least going from what the trailers kind of presented, going from seeing Hero with Baymax, of how Baymax kind of doesn't understand anything, of course, because he's a robot, and when he does have the low battery, and they're going in the house and stuff like that, and him saying, you know, we jumped out a window and stuff like that, he comes off as not annoying, just more likable and lovable. Almost like he's kind of like a small little pet in which that you wanna hang around with. I did talk to somebody else who did see the movie, and they kind of compared Baymax to being, I know it's sad, but they called him a retarded robot who does malfunction a lot. And he never really came off as that to me. He came off as more of a strict robot who a strict personality who only knew the basics, but didn't necessarily know how to interact as well with people. So he didn't necessarily have any boundaries. And even though he didn't have any boundaries, he still kind of had the best interest at heart. And that's kind of the cool thing about Baymax. And the cool thing about Hero is the fact that throughout this movie, Hero does go through a multitude of personalities in which that you do honestly feel for him, because even though he's not necessarily relatable in a sense that he is a super genius and he's like a genius with robotics, of course, that's not necessarily a thing in which that we all can say that we're all masters at. But at the same time, you do look at it and you're like, when he feels accomplished, you can actually feel that. It's things about him in which that you're like, I can't let this go. I have to do good at this. I know I am, and when I put my mind to it, I'm very good at it. And you can necessarily relate on you can relate to him on that level. Even with him going through loss, even with him how he deals with his friends, even with all the little things that kind of plays out. You do feel a lot with Hero, because they put a lot of or at least they put a lot of human personality, or they took their time well to write Hero well, so that you can feel for him. Whereas all the other characters, even though they were side characters and they do kind of have their own little quirks and everything, you still like them, but it's not necessarily to the point of that they're the greatest characters. Even though they're the secondary characters, you still feel for them, because they do kind of have a lot of realistic personality as well, which is a cool thing about this entire movie. I do like this movie because, for one, it does pace it in a way in which that you can necessarily understand, and even though some of the lines are mostly for comedy, it's still presented in a way in which that in which that you can understand this character, you can feel him, and you understand full well what he's going through, and all the consequences in which that, or there's like, and even the actions he takes, you can fully understand them, even though necessarily what is going on in the story, it isn't all that predictable. I mean, it's like, it's very, very predictable, and it isn't necessarily shaded out in a way. However, every single time you do kind of get the feeling that they're about to accomplish something, it does hit you in the heart, like right here. It's like, that junk is just so amazing. However, you know, even though this isn't necessarily a movie in which that I kind of said that, well, it's like, ever since I seen the trailer, I was like, this is a movie that I want to see. With how it did play out, though, it played out better than what I expected. So, yes, I do recommend this movie to a lot of people who do like Marvel and Pixar animated movies. Like, even if you like animated movies, I mean, like, I like How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. And those aren't necessarily movies in which that they kind of play out as just being only kid-friendly. Now, my friend at the Deshaun R. Smith show, he, in case everybody knows, Deshaun and I went out with I went with Chris as well. We went out and we went to go see the movie, and this is not, and it actually kind of came to my head, to my attention that this isn't necessarily a movie only for kids. If you're old enough, you can still go out and watch this movie. So don't feel ashamed that you're over the age of 18 and you want to go out and see this movie. I mean, it's a pretty interesting film. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. What do you guys think about that? Please tell me down there in the comment section. Give me a positive comment or a negative comment. I'll see you guys on the next Stutterbox episode. So yeah, see you guys on the next John Graves show. So please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. Stutterbox out.